So these are the big pots that I bought in America. Can't get any pot this big. Half of it is as big as they sell in the stores. So this is 97 gallons. No, 100.
Pints.
No.
Quarts.
Liters is 100. Do the math. Okay, so there are 100 liters. You can only get something 50 liters here. So what I got these for is it'll take us up to 200 liters that we can give to the clients in a juice or a drink.
The guests.
The guests. Okay, so what I did is I like trying my ideas and keeping it kind of small. I don't want to ruin both pots at the same time with some crazy idea, so I tried one first, and what I did is I drilled the holes, so now we can put a valve on there. But the valves, the way the Ukrainian valve is it kind of leaks. It's probably the same in America. It's a metal nut on each side, and then it kind of collapses on the pot with a rubber washer to seal it. Well, that doesn't seal it. So we got this other stuff. It's called it's like pipe dope in America. Plumber's goo. Okay, and it goes on with kind of a string. Okay, so you put it in the string and then you clamp everything down. Well, I didn't do it. I didn't close it up good enough when I tried the test, and sure enough, after a few weeks, they became loose. Well, now I'm cranking them things down. I hope they don't leak. I don't think they will, but they are tight. The guests, when they drink, they're not going to unloosen them. So I think it'll work much better. Anyway, so now we have 4 people able to get a drink at a time. Up until now, we had a plastic jug that only did, I could only put one valve on it, and I want to be able to have the line move much quicker. So instead of one person at a time with that old plastic jug, we're going to be able to have 4 people at any moment, and then they can get enough to drink quickly and get back in line, and it's going to be much better.
Yeah, because they back up and it blocks the walkway for where people are coming out of after getting their soup and everything.
And now that we're hitting 100 people every week, it's like there's not much room in our little warehouse. So we gotta do everything we can to make things more efficient and work quicker.
That's that plumber's dope, huh?
That's the pipe dope, yeah. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like pipe dope in America, but in America the pipe dope is more like silly putty, a little thicker than silly putty. Here it's very moist, but it kind of dries and it seals up good, but it takes a little while to dry up. So anyway, it'll work much better. I got the plan now. I worked out all the kinks, and tomorrow we are going to have it filled with apple juice.
Now these pots each came with a big basket that goes inside of it, and we've actually found a different purpose for this. When we cook the meat down in the soup pot, it creates the bouillon, and then we pull this out and let it drip dry. We've got some big paddles that we put under it to sit there for a while, and then we've got the meat that we can box up. And we have to box up the meat because we've got 200 liters of bouillon that we're serving. We've got 30 kilograms of meat that we're serving, and we've got how many kilograms of rice or buckwheat?
It would end up being 120 liters, kilograms in wet.
Yeah.
It's like 33, but then you got to multiply it by 3,
yeah.
2, I think.
Because
3.
of the water. So
yeah.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And we pulled out the grain and the meat so that we would be able to cook more bouillon, but we're finding now that this 200 liters of bouillon is almost not enough, and so we're thinking about what else can we do?
For me, the biggest reason why we took the meat out is because everybody there is whining. I want meat. I don't want soup with no meat in it. Where's my meat? Where's my meat? It's like, well, none of it's your meat. You're lucky to have anything at all. Well, that only went so far. They're always whining because they're like little kids. They want their fair share. Well, the only way we can do that is to measure it out each time. So we cook it in the soup. We in one of these baskets. We pull it all out, and then we give it to them in a box, all measured out. We're going to have pork tomorrow, and it's cooking right now. So we're going to give them probably about maybe 240, 250 grams of meat. That's a pretty good chunk of meat. But it's being cooked tonight, so we'll put it in the box cold tomorrow. We'll put the juices. I'm cooking it in vinegar, a little bit of vinegar and apple. So that's going to get the flavor into the meat pretty good. And anyway, it's probably done. We should probably turn that off.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll keep the juice aside, put that in the soup. It'll be 200 liters, basically this much soup, just the veggie and the
Bouillon.
Mm-hmm. So, it's a big task. It's getting to where we're maxed out.
Yeah.
So where this goes, only God knows.
Yeah, yeah. But unfortunately here in communism with all the bread lines, and it's like you kind of have this grandma that comes and cries and begs and begs and begs until somebody relents and gives her what she wants. And so when you've got, a whole bunch of those as pensioners or as long-term refugees, they're all kind of crying, and that's what they've had to do to survive, but we're feeding up at the father's table, and we're trying to get them to understand that we want to feed them, that we have food to feed them, and that they don't have to whine and cry like that with us. Cultural difference.
Everybody wants favor. I want to go first. I want to get to the head of the line. I don't want to have to stand in line. Well, for one person to have that means everybody else has to take a step back in line or be further back. So I should favor you instead of favoring them? That makes no sense to me. When you get here, you get in line, you manage yourself in line, you invest in that line, and you end up getting food. It's like, for me, it doesn't matter if you're some old woman, a retired woman, or a retired man, or if somebody with a cane that can't stand up, I'll favor them, I'll serve them. But anybody else, it's like you have to get in line. There was one woman crying a month ago because this child, she just had to go get in line first. It's like, I'm sorry, but everybody else is hungry also. And the child understood, but that woman didn't. And what she would have done is get the child in line and stand right there with her, getting her food also.
And it wasn't even her child.
And it wasn't her child. She was a gypsy child, and the child understood what I was saying. It's like everybody is hungry.
Yeah. And that woman's given us a little bit of a hard time, but
she's a short little redhead that always wants to get up in the front of the line, or and then she says, oh, well, I don't even want your soup. Okay.
Yeah.
But then she ends up taking the soup.
Yeah, she's an interesting character. But yeah, we kind of have to work around some of this cultural stuff, but also, protect I would say 90% or more of the people are very grateful, very easy to work with. Yeah. We just have a couple difficult ones, but
I'm so used to being the discipline and correcting everybody, because they can't get past me. I won't let them get past me. But not everybody needs discipline and to be corrected. They don't need my kind of in-your-face discipline. So, God was impressing upon me last week, and I talked with Laura, and she kind of agreed. I'm not real good at encouraging people that don't need the discipline. And I told them that I discipline without love. You don't see the love come across when I discipline. It's really gruff and
it's tough love.
But it's what they need, but not everybody.
Yeah.
So I had one daughter that needed that, and one daughter that I had to be soft with, and it really messed me up. my when my kids were young.